Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 of the best of 3 between the Beck and Thrace TW. In this one we are going to be on Pegasus Bridge, and as you can see on the right side, the factions have switched sides. So Thrace is now going to be playing Allies in the 3rd Canadian, and the Beck's now going to be playing the 9th Panzer on the Axis side. So how much of a difference this makes, we'll have to wait and see. But this map is probably one of my favourites, so I'm really excited to see it in the tournament. This is our 6th unique map now, which is really good. And yeah, let's just talk a little bit about this map in general. So from the 1v1 version is kind of turned on its side to what people are used to. Normally, people are used to seeing it from this perspective, and this main town is like the point of contention where you sort of bring up some reinforcements on a 2v2 to like 4v4 maps. You sort of fight across the town diagonally into enemy territory from both sides. Whereas in a 1v1, the map's on its side anyway. So this ends up just being a choke that you always have to play through. Then on the right side, you have this sort of tree line here that's often contested. A little bit of a building there for the red side. Blue side gets the ruined buildings behind, and same goes for the other side, tree line with some buildings behind. Now if the blue side decides to defend in this area, then they actually put themselves at a disadvantage. They want to be contesting this tree line to push the 50-50, so it'll be interesting to see how Thrace decides to deal with that. But either way, both players are going to be putting their troops down at the start of this one. Starting on Thrace's side of things, 2 rifles and a command infantry. Also a Ram 2 at the start, which is an interesting choice. Ram 2s are probably one of the best tanks to bring into the towns at the start, just because they have a lot of armor, like 12 front armor. It's pretty damn decent. Also they have the 11 AP, which is more than enough to kill any enemy tanks that come their way at the start of the game. So just gives you a bit of a formidable unit there that is really hard to deal with enemy vehicles, and stops things like Flampanzers, which would be actually quite likely to come out of the 9th Panzer. It's a strategy that's used quite often. On the bottom side for Thrace, we are going to be seeing the Bedford trucks here with more rifles and command infantry, and on the top side the same thing. It looks like 2 more units of rifles and an AT gun. Recon sort of in the center there will likely end up around here or here. Might unload at this position and then sort of run across. So 2 Panzergrens and command infantry for the Beck so far. It looks like the Beck is having a little bit of trouble deciding what he wants to put down. Trying to decide what tactic he wants to go for with the 9th Panzer. The first thing I mentioned was, of course, the Flampanzer push, which is definitely something he could go for. Maybe he is aware of the Ram 2 threat, however. So he might look to go for the Panzer 2 Lux, Panzer 2 command combo. On the bottom side, just a Panzergren there, maybe to hold the front line. But I would say generally with the 9th Panzer, you want to go with a concerted effort in one area and just cover your flanks until you have more points available. That's generally a decent way to put it. Another thing we need to check out is the income. You can see that the 3rd Canadian actually get 15 points less per minute in Phase A, which is actually quite a significant difference, especially when it comes to like a rifle squad costing 15 points or 20 points. And that just sort of means that the Beck has that little bit more on the field early on and continues to in Phase B. Not much by then, but still a relative difference there. In general, overall, throughout the entire game, the 9th Panzer will receive more points. It's just a pure and simple fact. 15 more points per minute. So not too much else coming down. There is all of these looks up here. Panzer 1C going to be leading the charge along with the rifles. There's also a Marder 3 joining the Panzer 2 convoy. And that is a very good choice, actually. It's very important that you do bring in these Marder 3s, because if, for example, you did bump into a Ram on that top side with all your Panzer 2 looks, you would be in a bit of trouble. So Yeah, that's definitely something that's needed. But here we are, underway. Both sides heading very strong for that town. Only 1 unit of Panzergrenz on the bottom side, holding that area. We've got 1 unit of Panzergrenz for the mid now with a recon and the command infantry. It looks like that recon is going to be heading towards the center area here to try and hold that off. And then you've got the push coming through on the top side from the back. So if he can make this work, it could be devastating early on. However, Thrace does have the 6-pounder set up. And if he's not careful, that 6-pounder could definitely kill off the Beck's unit here. But Thrace, in the same vein, could get overrun by these Panzer IIs very quickly if it starts to miss. So +1 coming out for the Beck early on. Small infantry contingent here will hopefully hold back the majority of these rifles and stormtroopers that are heading to the center. And it looks like the Beck just doesn't want to contend with that. He has found the 6-pounder, and that is going to die. Gets pinned down before it even kills a Panzer I, and that's opened up a whole can of worms. Crazy stuff. Now the Beck needs to win this game in order to come back in this tournament. He needs to win this game, well, to stay in the tournament, because if Thrace wins, he moves on to round 2, since Thrace won the first round, or the first game. Marder 3 is going to be starting to go for the shots onto the Ram 2. That Ram 2 needs to get into range of the Marder 2 or Marder 3 as quickly as possible. However, that Marder 3 with the 2-star veterancy isn't going to be missing much. It does have 6 accuracy and the 13 AP power. Small chance of actual penetration. Oh, that's just bad news for Thrace. Track's broken. And now the Marder 3 just has to keep shooting. And that Ram 2 will eventually die. There it goes. 5 shots later, the Ram 2 is dead. That allows the Panzer II Cs and the Panzer II Lux to just drive all over this battlefield. We can see the Lloyd carrier coming down the road there with the AT gun. If this Marder 3 spots it, might be able to even kill off the Lloyd carrier before it drops off the 6-pounder, which would be a huge mistake. It's interesting to see that the recon has been left behind here. The Beck should definitely be moving up the Panzer 1C. That Marder turning round? It is. 6-pounder has been dropped. However, the Lux are racing towards it. If the Lux take it out again, then I'm not sure Thrace is going to be in a very good position whatsoever. Just needs to get into the 800 meter range he needs to start firing those autocannons. 3 missed shots for the 6-pounder. That's such a shame for Thrace, because now he is in a terrible spot. Those Panzer II Lux can take full advantage of this area. They just have to bypass these rifles, hunkered down in those buildings. In the center, nothing really much going on here. Looks like the Panzergrenz just fell back. Panzergrenfjoller's just been there. Speedthroop from the Beck just hanging back. And Thrace just isn't really being very aggressive in the center or at the bot side. If there's this many tanks in the top, you can see the Panzer II, the Panzer II Lux. There's 2 more on the way. There's Panzer 1C there. That's a lot of points. Surely you would just want to send forwards these rifles here with the rifle leader, see what ground you could make. And here we go, he's finally doing so, finally trying to make that ground elsewhere on the map so that he can recover this later on. He's bringing up another 6-pounder, he needs a command infantry or something with that, otherwise you can continue to miss these tanks as they come forwards. Here it comes, command infantry is on the way, 6-pounder is going to be opening up onto the Marder 3, however it misses again. No veterancy on these 6-pounders really makes them miss a lot. And that's just not going to be what he needs. Panzer II Lux is just going to rush it down. Marder 3 even opens up for some return fire. 20 mil is going to open up. And that's going to be another dead 6-pounder. What a shame. Thrace just getting overrun by these 20 mil autocannons. And I remember when I was playing the game initially, when the 259s were what you had to worry about with the 20 mil autocannons, but now you have these Panzer II Lux, which are 5 armor, 40 km/h units. They're absolutely exceptional. And the Panzer II looks just going to rush forwards here. He is going to find the rifle leader, but he is going to reverse out of range. Might still get hit by the Piat, and does. Nice shot there by the rifle leader. On the bot side, Panzer II looks arriving, is going to stop this slight infantry push coming out of Thrace, and with the command being the first unit to die, that actually puts his rifles in a really bad spot. That's just, again, that's just a bit of a mismicro there from Thrace. He put like massive attack move orders forwards, and he needed to like obviously make the ground, but having the command infantry in front was the bad choice there, and that's going to end up losing him this bot side as well. His entire map is collapsing. He's lost all of his AT guns in phase A, and there's still 4 minutes until phase B. There's just nothing he can do. I'm pretty sure he's used up all of his 6-pounders. His Ram 2's dead. I'm not sure if he has another one. And that's pretty much it. Typhoon has to pretty much kill the Marder 3 with this bombing strike, but it misses as the Marder 3 dodges that with a fast move up the road. Crazy stuff. Now there's quite a lot of tanks sitting around here doing nothing. Beck isn't really micromanaging his tanks very well, considering, but has done the damage he needs to do. He's got a +3 already, and it's, you know, only 6 minutes 30 into the game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 251 is moving towards these rifles to reveal them. That's going to allow the Panzer guns to get on target there. AT gun is coming up to cover the spawn. Panzer 1 does go ahead and kill another carrier coming across the field. And yeah, these Panzer II looks, they should be fanning out towards the back of the map here just to finish things off. But we do see Thrace surrender. Wow, after a solid 7 minutes and 4 seconds, that is a surrender from Thrace. Thrace, who won the first game so convincingly, is taken down by the Beck, also known as Alex of Newski, in the second game. Wow, fantastic job there. If we jump to the team scores, 480 kills for the Beck to 55 losses for Thrace. Maybe Thrace just threw in the towel there to make sure that he had his head on point for the next game, where he knows that maybe he can bring it back against the Beck. Really, really interesting game there. I think just the use of the 6-pounders without command really shot Thrace in the foot. Also losing his Ram 2 to the Marder was just terrible. I feel like if the Marder was in range of the Ram 2, the Ram just had to charge it down. Like, there wasn't really much other choice in that scenario. Yes, it would have allowed the Marder to get more AP value and a bigger chance to hit the closer the Ram got. But once you get into that position, reversing away isn't going to make any difference. You can try and charge them down and hope they just don't reverse micro properly. But still, it's just not good. Just misplayed there by Thrace. Maybe should have kept his Ram 2 behind cover, popped it out to kill the Marder. Definitely could have been a choice. But those 6-pounders going down to the Panzer II looks there. Maybe just deploying them off the road so they can't be charged by the Panzer II looks so freely. Although the looks do have nice 40 km/h off-road speed. It's just hard. It's just hard to think about. Maybe he should have saved for 2 AT guns at the same time. That's another choice. With a command infantry. So instead of, you know, bringing them in one by one and letting them get killed over and over again, just save the last 2, bring them in together, and then bring in the command with them, and that will hopefully be enough to like prevent those panzers from actually rushing you down. Other than that, I mean, on the bot side and in the mid, he had the right sort of strategy. He just didn't capitalize on the bot side early enough. I think he was panicking around the top side, and that definitely caught him off guard. But I mean, the Beck, I was kind of disappointed after his initial push. The Panzer II looks just kind of sat there. I mean, I don't know if in the chat Thrace has already said that was GG, and therefore the Beck was just waiting for his surrender. But still, you should try and make sure that you secure your victory the best you can, especially as the 9th Panzer. Phase A, Phase B is like your real hitting point. If you can break through those AT guns for the 9th Panzer, it's pretty much a rollover, as you saw here. The AT guns are the key to defeating the 9th Panzer in Phase 8, and when they die to the tanks that you're trying to counter, it's just devastating. So yeah, that's it. 1 kill for the rifle leader here. Onto the Panzer II looks of the Beck. The rest of it is just kills for the looks and the Marder 3. There's also the 251 there. Took out Universal Carrier, Command Carrier in the center of the map, bottom side of the town, I think. So yeah, you can just see how devastating those Panzer II looks can be. But that's how the cookie crumbles. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you join me for game 3 of this best of 3 between the Beck and Thrace TW. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.